Hey guys, this is Cam15 and I'm back at it with another video for you guys. And shockingly, your eyes are not deceiving you guys if you watch My Hero Academia content. If you're brand new, welcome. Um, but if you're seeing the thumbnail for the first time, yeah, I read the manga in preparation for the upcoming My Hero Academia Heroes Rising movie that is coming out February 26th to US Canadian theaters. It's gonna be a blast to see it. So anyways, I'm here to talk about my thoughts on the manga chapter really going forward after, I would say, because I don't know, because at this point in time the epilogue of the overhaul arc is basically concluding next week. So I don't know where, things will pick up. I don't know how the progression of the season will go. Like, I don't know if, oh, and before I say anything else, if you are checking out this video, because I was about to say something regarding to manga spoilers. If you are checking out this video, do not watch this video if you are an anime-only person. If you are not trying to be spoiled by any future events of the manga that I'm about to talk about in this video, do not watch this video. Click off right now because I will be going into not heavy spoilers, but some pretty interesting deep spoilers that pertains to the future of the manga and where the manga is currently at right now. Like I said, it's the same thing with the movie. Literally, if you won't, honestly, after reading the manga, I'll just say this. This is kind of my non-spoiler review of reading the manga up to the current chapter right now. And say if the movie were to come out like as of today, I will say this. If you're planning on seeing the movie and you don't care about not catching up to the manga, I will say this. I would probably not see this movie because there will be some things in the movie that will be somewhat connected to some stories in the manga, and you'll be like, what the hell is that? You know, there are some changes that happen in this short time of the manga that are pretty big. So if I were you and you're an anime only and you want to see the movie, I would not, because there are some things in the manga that explain certain things that you would not understand going into this movie. And I would say do not watch the movie, because if you do, it might take away some really good moments that you can miss if, say, they spoil it in the movie for you. You'll be like, wait, that happened? Wow, I don't know how to think about it. Now, again, some people aren't bothered by spoilers and not reading ahead, and they'd rather watch the anime. I'm all cool with that. But I'm just saying, if it was me and I was just stick being anime only, I'd purposely just miss this movie and wait till it comes on DVD. Treat it how as if you were like watching Dragon Ball Super, but you were only an English dub watcher. You legit had to skip Dragon Ball Super Broly, and you would have to wait to get on DVD before you watched it after the season for the English dub ended. But anyways, again, warning, there will be spoilers in, this video pertaining to events in the manga. So yeah, that's your last warning. If you stay on here, that's your guys' I guess, problems or issues. But if you want to listen to this video to basically, in a sense, catch up and be like, okay, this is where it's going. Okay, good. Yeah, But anyways, I will say this. After reading the manga up to the current chapter, and the next chapter is actually coming out, and I believe in one more day, at least. I cannot wait to see some of these things animated. So anyways, the manga. What I thought about the manga. I thought the manga was really good. I don't know what chapter I left off, but I think it's on like chapter 257. I think that's gonna be the next chapter coming out in the next 2 days. But anyways, one, I can say I cannot wait for some of these, think moments and stuff to happen, to get animated and stuff like that. And I thought, the manga did a really good job of continuing the story, because now my intrigue for My Hero Academia skyrocketed to the point now it's literally my #1 anime. Um, and I love me some Dragon Ball. Oh yes. Also, I'm not trying to get copyright strike, but if you did not get Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, pick that up, because that game, I've only played like at least 30 minutes of the game. I don't know even how long I put into that game. At least 20 to 30 minutes. That game is awesome. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, that game is awesome. I did pre-order it yesterday, so I got an early release copy last night. But it is out today, so go to your local game store and pick that up, because Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is a really good game. And if you were skeptical about it, you shouldn't be, because you can listen to the reviews. That game's good. Like, literally, I have to play Crash Team Racing first, because the new Grand Prix came out. And then I'll get back to playing Kakarot. But Kakarot, good game. Anyways, we're not talking about Dragon Ball. We're talking about My Hero. But anyways, I can't wait to see some of these scenes animated. And now I see why some of the people who were manga readers were so happy about this past week's, episode 13 of, 100% Deku. Another thing, I know even if you don't like the English dub, but the English dub episode of last week's episode, the Infinite 100, percent all one for all Deku, that episode is actually coming out tomorrow. I will be watching the English dub on that. I cannot wait to see the job Justin Briner will do as in that episode, as well as the voice actor who plays Overhaul. We'll see where that goes. But anyways, pertaining to the events of the manga, I'll just say this. I cannot believe how much of a game changer this is. And right now, I'm just going to go around. I'm just going to go somewhat in order of certain events. I won't spend too much on some things unless, key, huge events. So I guess I can talk a little bit about, the little end of season 4. That's mostly a little bit of Todoroki and Bakugo's license exam, retest. I did like that mini arc because, one, they brought back the dude from Shuketsu, the guy, I forgot the guy who had a little beef with Todoroki at first, until they realized, like, yo, we should not be fighting, we should be working together. And they also did bring back Kami, and it isn't Kami Toga transformed Kami. It's Kami who basically it's later revealed that essentially she was basically knocked out, and Toga basically did what she did and impersonated her, and essentially she has to retake her own exam because that wasn't the real Kami. So it was good to see Kami. I'll say Kami, her real life personality, she's not much as a, type of stalker, person who gives a lot of sexual innuendos, like, the thing that Toga does, a craziness. She's like very innocent, she's very cute, and I do like the role how she's just so sweet. What I thought about the little arc where they basically, had essentially these like first or second graders that always cut it up with this teacher. Those 4 basically had to find a way to get them, to like him and stuff like that. And I really did appreciate that. It was a nice little few chapters to see, because, and especially from the side aspect of, Bakugo, because the next few chapters, Bakugo really does grow, and you can see his progression. He's not as arrogant as he was at the start of the series. He isn't so self-centered. He's actually more like, he's more caring, and he actually shows more of a side of a hero. And, he doesn't come off as a guy that, he's a legit a-hole. He comes off a guy as like, yeah, my personality is an a-hole, but deep inside me, I'm a genuinely nice guy. I just don't like to express myself. And that's why I also liked him with his interactive scenes with Deku, because even though they do still keep the rivalry going, you know, Bakugo does have a respect for Deku, and he does want to see, he does want to see him improve with One for All, and that's one of the things I liked when they had those, talks with All Might and stuff like that, or whenever, Bakugo always told Deku, have you been improving your quirk? Because he genuinely knows that Deku has something placed on his shoulders that is basically, pretty big. And, the one thing I do like is Bakugo is going to always say that he was going to do his best to be stronger than Deku. And I do like that. But I think he knows at the end of the day that Deku will be the stronger person in him. So I think it's a way as like motivation and encouragement for Deku. And, when they always had those interaction scenes when when Bakugo always tells Deku, you better not lose, you better not disappoint me. He's like, I'm still going to beat your butt and win all the time and be number one. And Deku from, the past few seasons, he would be timid around Bakugo, and he would be intimidated a lot, and he'd be like, yeah, it's no problem. But now, it's like, I was watching, when I was reading, the one, before they did the whole Class 1A versus Class 1B matches, Bakugo was basically talking smack to Deku, and Deku was like, heh, yeah, we'll see. I'm still getting stronger, so yeah. And I really like that because that's good character development for Deku, because it's like, when the series first started off, he was timid around Bakugo, and he didn't want nothing to do with him. He was scared and intimidated. Now he's standing up to Bakugo like on equal footing, and he's like, yeah, you may be much stronger now, but I'm only getting stronger. With every passing day. So yeah. So I like that little hero license exam arcs and stuff like that. It was really interesting to see. The ending of season 4, which I think will be the ending of season 4, which I believe we will get the fight of Deku versus Gentle Hero. I think that will be the back half of the season. And then another thing before I skip over, the League of Villains, and I will say this, whether they showed them in tomorrow's episode or the week later episode, the League of Villains getting their hands on the quirk erasing bullets, that is something to watch for. So could we possibly see more heroes getting their quirks taken away because of them? I would be really sad if, actually now that I think about it, it'd be really sad if one of the Class 1A, heroes lose their powers, I guess, in the final battle. And the crazy thing is, I could see it possibly being Bakugo, as much as it would probably make people, like, go insanely pissed. I guess from an aspect, I can see maybe Deku fighting Shigarashi, maybe Deku and Bakugo fighting Shigarashi, and Shigarashi fires off one of the quirk erasing bullets to get rid of Deku's quirks, but Bakugo, in order to have Deku beat Shigarashi, gives up his powers, but at the same time, Eri could rewind that. I do have a prediction that could be the possible end to My Hero Academia. But anyways, they have the quirk erasing bullets now because they attacked Overhaul's convoy. So yeah. Anyway, and then the tail end of season 4, which I think will be Deku versus Gentle Hero, and also with the La Habra stuff. As well as, the little, school festival thing that they're gonna do. I can't wait to see that animated. What I thought the Deku versus Gentle Hero fight was really good, because there's another fight where Deku takes it upon himself to stop essentially a villain, and basically beats him before he kind of ruins an entire festival that basically he was gonna do along with the other school to basically make Eri happy and make her smile. And I can't wait to see that moment animated when Eri does finally smile for the first time in like forever, because it's going to be like one of those heart-pounding moments at the last part of the season. Which I think the last ending of the season they'll probably do the scene where Deku gives her the candy apple. I think that's when they're gonna end season 4 off, because I think that'd be a nice little scene. The Deku Eri relationship, I do like it because it's like a big brother little sister type of relationship. You know, Deku really does care about Eri a lot, like as if it was his adoptive sister. Um, and the way that, you know, Eri talks to Deku, it's like, you know, she looks up to him like as if she's a big brother, because when they did the, you know, when they did their little musical, Class 1A did their little musical, she was so happy to see Deku on stage and stuff like that. And I was like, "Aw, that touches my heart." That's like a sister seeing her big brother do something, and it was really cute. Cute. Mario will make appearances with Eri because him and Aizawa will were with Eri. So yeah. And then really after that, we don't really see Mario till like I guess the one panel of when it refers to the heroes of the future. You know, when Hawks is talking about that they need to plan for the upcoming, I guess, you know, League of Villains and Liberation Army war against the heroes. When they showed him. And other than that, really, you know, so far Aries got to really learn to master her quirk so she can be able to not only get Mario's powers back, but I have a big prediction on the possible, you know, like I said, ending of My Hero Academia when it comes to her using her powers on somebody else. Um, so anyway, so like I said, the Gentle Hero versus Deku fight, I did like that. I also do like the fact that, you know, Deku finally is bringing back the flicking smashes he used to do way back in season 2, and even a little bit back in season 1. And the fact that he's using the airsoft gauntlets, you know, to make him use All For One a little bit better. I do like the fact. I also did like the fact that All Might actually is now at least starting to help Deku train more, because in the past few seasons we haven't seen All Might do that. And he was always quoted as being a very bad teacher. But the fact that now he's actually teaching Deku to, you know, somewhat how to use All For One a little bit better, and giving him hints like, hey, maybe you should do this and stuff like that. It would be better, you know. He's letting him learn on his own as well as, you know, assisting him along the way, and it's a nice, you know, little dynamic. Like I said, but the Gentle, you know, I cannot wait to see Deku versus Gentle Hero. The Gentle Hero and La Habra storyline, that was a pretty good storyline for them, and it was very emotional. My thoughts on that's one of the best, you know, storytelling villains we've got, you know, and I thought that it's a good way to, you know, end season 4 this year. You know, go out on a bang and stuff like that, as well as when we get to season 5, it's going to get much darker. And what I mean by much darker is when it goes to basically what I liked in the manga, where, you know, they switched it from My Hero Academia to My Villain Academia, and that's when the League of Villains get their character development moments, all of them. There were good moments from Toga, Twice, especially Twice. You know, I forgot the one reptile crocodile looking guy. He had a moment. Dobby had a moment. You know, stuff like that. Shigarachi, God, he had a boss moment. As well as we get revelations, if I'm believing, I feel like that's the same doctor that told Deku that he has no quirk. So, and he's the one that is creating the Nomus. So yeah, and really even before that, we do get Endeavor in the scene. We do get, you know, the rankings of the hero system. So Endeavor's number 1. We do get Hawks in the manga. Hawks is going to make an appearance in the movie as a number 2 hero. My thoughts on Hawk, I like him. At first, when, you know, he did the shady dealings with the League of Villains, I'm like, he's the traitor. I'm like, so he's the traitor. My goodness. And then it's later revealed that he's basically a double agent to get into the interior and find out what the hell the League of Villains are doing along with the Liberation Army. And we later do find out that essentially in 4 months from the current manga's time, well, in the manga's time, not our real actual time here, but in 4 months, in My Hero Academia timeline, the League of Villains and the Liberation Army, you know, coalition, are going to basically have a huge scale war to basically essentially really try to end all heroes and everything as we know it. As Shigaraki says, he wants to destroy everything. The Shigaraki backstory. We get why he became who he was. He basically had an abusive father that just really didn't like the fact that he wanted to be a hero, and the fact that his dad wanted him to be somebody in society that was, worth of something. And it was kind of a bad tactic, and it was like, wow, because he had a caring mom, he had a loving sister, and the only person that turned him to the dark side, it was his own father. And the fact to believe that that was the father of Nana Shimura, that's even sad. Like, they do like a little quick flashback, which I really did like, of the fact when, she told her son, I'm sorry for not being the mother, I wanted you to be, I wanted to be, and the mother you wanted me to be to you. But, I'm a hero at the same time. And the fact that the father, he was basically like, F that. I don't care that if you want, that you apologize, to me. And I thought that was so sad, because it was like, well, obviously, yeah, he felt betrayed by his mom, but, or by Nana. But at the same time, it's like, I'm guessing that's probably where he lost respect for heroes, and he didn't want, Shigaraki to be a hero. Because at first, Shigaraki, he wanted to be a hero. And at the same time, he didn't know that his grandma was a hero. It was just a sad, tragic backstory for him, because the moment he gets his powers, he kills his dog, he kills everybody else of his own family. And he just got pleasure after killing his dad, because he was like, well, now nobody has the right to disown me anymore. Then that's when we get All for One picking him up off the street and basically molding him into the person he is today. And that's where he gives him the name Shigaraki, because All for One's last name is Shigaraki. So that was a crazy revelation. And the fact that when he beat Destro, the way he did, and then Destro basically was like, yes, you're the leader now. You have full control of the Liberation Army. And the fact that they came together, they did a coalition, and now they are planning to basically destroy everybody as we know it, and only have the world to themselves. Things are getting crazy, as well as the Doctor giving, Shigaraki this power called Destruction for All, which gives him quirks like One for All. And when I heard that, things are going to get crazy. I thought things were going to get crazy, but Deku looks like he's going to have to master One for All on a quicker basis than we thought he needed to learn on. Because, my goodness, Shigarachi's improving by the snap of our finger much faster than Deku does. Deku's going through basically a sprinter's pace. Really just a sprinter's pace. He's taking his time right now. But yeah, that's really all I got to say for the League of Villains and the Liberation Army, because that's all you get from them, really. The My Villain Academia arc, that was really good. I cannot wait to see that animated too, because that's going to be really interesting to see how people, especially anime only people, to see where they're going to be like, whoa, this story is taking it to a whole nother level. So yeah, that was good. I did like the Shigaraki versus Destro battle. They kind of outsmarted him, and yeah, and the Doctor's giving him this, Destruction for All that is gonna take 4 months for him to get. And one of the last scenes we've seen of Shigaraki is him getting the powers, and he needs to take in the pain and punishment of getting that power. So he's moving up in the chain to be basically the successor for All for One, but stuff like that. So actually cutting back, we do get the Endeavor family, basically development. And basically that development is where Endeavor realizes that, he has to change a bit because now he's the number one hero. It's gonna be a different, you know, footing now. And throughout his character development, you see the changes he actually tries to do. And by the time he's, preparing the troops, and by the time he's like basically training, Todoroki, Bakugo, and Deku for, the upcoming, basically assault of the League of Villains, and or I forgot what they called him. I mean, it was like it was a combination with the name, but to prepare him, it really goes to show that he's changed because now he knows there's so much more of a burden being the number one hero, and he can see why it was so much of a burden on All Might to carry out. And I like the fact that they give some time to Endeavor. Now you can still hate Endeavor, and you still have a hate for him, but at the same time, you gain more of a respect, and you I think that's the one thing I liked. Like, I still do not like him for what he did, especially to Todoroki and Todoroki's mom, as well as the entire family as a whole. But you can respect, like, he's actually willing to change. It comes down to his kids to accept it. Todoroki, right now, he's on a basis of where he's open to having a different opinion on his dad, as opposed to his other brother. You know, I forgot. Natsu? Yeah, Natsu. Who's not willing to change at all. It looks like, after the last scene where he almost was killed by a villain, he was willing to make somewhat of a change. We also do get the revelation of Toya Todoroki. So, is Toya Todoroki Dabi? We'll have to find out whenever they reveal that. Apparently, they say Endeavor killed him, and, stuff like that. We'll see where that goes. I did like the backstory. I did like the sister, Fuyami. I don't know how you pronounce her name, but Fuyami. I did like the fact that she wants to just be one single family. She wants to try to get the family together. And the scene where Natsu has the argument where Deku and Bakugo were actually in Todoroki's house, but Deku and Bakugo were actually spitting, straight troops, and they were basically like, look, if you guys are willing to change, like, we understand that maybe Endeavor did bad things, but the thing is, what is your thoughts on him? And they were kind of telling that to more like Todoroki. What are your thoughts on him? You can't really, be based on your thoughts on what your brother says. What are your true thoughts on your father? And I really did like that. I like the fact that, well, before I talk about that, I did like the fact how I did like the Endeavor, high-end Nomu fight. That was interesting. I literally thought the moment when the dude, I guess, cut his eye, or, skinned his eye and scraped it, I was like, yo, what? I literally thought Endeavor was gonna die. I was like, no, Endeavor's not dead. And yeah, that battle was intense. Endeavor luckily won, and, he asserted himself as to prove that he's the reason to be the number one hero. That was really good. And then again, and going back to the thing, I did like the fact that another one, and this is the last time I'm talking about the Endeavor character development stuff. I did like the fact that, albeit he sucked in his gun and he was like, fine, I only was going to train Shoto, but now I guess I'll train you too, Deku and Bakugo. And it was really good because are we getting hype of, or a potential hype of the next big three of UA? Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki? Well, technically, that kind of is the case to be true. That is going to really be the next big three of UA, those three. And because mostly they're also some of the three main characters are the heroes, are really, in terms of the main protagonists, they're all the three strongest. It's like, Deku and Bakugo are like, Goku and Vegeta, but I guess you can say Todoroki's like, the Gohan in the equation. He's the third strongest out of all the other warriors they got, or all the other heroes. At least he's more of a Gohan that asserts himself and he's ready to, train and be better, ready for battle and get stronger. Yeah, so I like the Endeavor character development stuff. That was really good stuff. Really good stuff. a little side note, they do bring back they do bring back the Ochako, having feelings for Deku storyline, and later near the tail end of this, well, really, right now they're kind of really like Horikoshi's really like shooting, straight up hints or straight up like, shipping moments between Deku and Ochako. So far, my favorite of the two, and my favorite moment is when, I think they're messing around with Ochako's, costume on the other girls, and they find that, they find that one of the the Christmas present Deku gave her, which was a little All Might keychain, was in her little wrist gauntlets, and Mina was like, "Oh my goodness!" And Ochako was like, "It's not what you think. It's not what you think." And then they have a nice little, and then her and Deku have a nice little moment after their, like, Jesus, the third internships they've done. They have a nice little moment after their third internships of how, basically when Deku did eventually somewhat master the Black Whip quirk ability he got, he basically thanked Ochako for doing all she's done, especially in that one moment, in that one battle against Class 1B, and stuff like that. And the fact that that Black Whip Corp gave Ochako the idea to have basically something similar to that, and they gave the little nice fist bump to each other, which I totally called it a total callback to that one moment. If you haven't seen Pokemon X and Y, when Ash was going through his pouty moment after losing to the 8th gym leader, and after that was all resolved and we got Ash Greninja and stuff like that, I found it a lot similar to the moment when Ash and Serena did their little fist bump after they basically rekindled and said their apologies to one another. That was nice. I thought that was a very cute scene. And then I found it funny how Mineta was like, which essentially it's basically now confirmed that he now sees that, there is a relationship between the two or something going on between the two. I do like the fact that Mina is literally like playing the hell out of it because she knows Ochako loves Deku. Ochako still has yet to admit that. Now, I do believe, now looking at it more, I do believe they probably, I feel like if there's shippers for the Ochako Deku relationship, I feel like they won't do a Naruto pull where they don't hook Naruto up with, like, for example, Sakura. They hook him up with Hinata. I feel like for My Hero Academia, if they plan to hook characters up, I think they'll definitely hook Deku and Ochako because Horikoshi is literally, shipping the hell out of those two, and it'd be really, really weird and really bad if somehow they didn't end up hooking up together. By the end of the series, they'll probably be an item. I don't want to spend too much time, as much as I do like, shippings whenever it comes to, TV shows or animes. I am those type of persons that, when it's a main character ship with the one character, another girl character, I do like that. And, Deku obviously will end up with Ochako by the time the series ends. I don't want to spend much more on that. You can get your thoughts in the comments on that relationship. But really, first I'm going to talk about the Class 1B versus Class 1A stuff. That was really interesting. I like the fact that they brought Shinzo back from way back in Season 2. I like the fact that they brought him back because him basically looking like the apprentice, or basically essentially the apprentice for Aizawa, it's really cool. And the Class 1A versus 1B battles really goes to show how much not only Class 1A has grown, but how much Class 1B has grown. In almost all the matches, Class 1B literally had a good plan against Class 1A and outsmarted them most of the time. It was the only time they really got dominated really badly was when really Bakugo kind of stepped up. Bakugo's team really just annihilated them. That was really good. We do get some new, characters from Class 1B that we hadn't seen before. But my thoughts on those fights, they were all good. Shinzo, his character development he got in that mini little arc was really good. And the fact that he's like another, rival to Deku, and the fact that he wanted to fight Deku so bad, it goes to show like, he respects Deku, and Deku respects him, and it's a nice little rivalry. Deku obviously is a much, much more stronger, character, and he will be by the end of the series. There's no way Shinjo could touch him. But the one thing I do like is, Shinzo, albeit, said he didn't want to make friends with Deku, or make friends with other people. I could see him being, having a good friendship with Deku. And I like their nice little battle. We also do get the Black Whip, which is later explained because Deku gets a vision or a bad dream about the revelations of how One For All started and stuff like that. And then basically in that same battle against Shinzo, he gets a revelation from a former, user of One For All that Deku will be getting the other, users, previous, users of One For All. He's going to get their quirks. He already got one of them, which is the Black Whip quirk. He's going to get only 6 more from that. And I saw that, I was reading that, and I was like, literally, I was like, yo, he's going to get more quirks? Oh my goodness. Which changes the game for him much, which makes him, in my opinion, I think it will make him look, be the strongest user of One For All. And I'll get into my thing. Also, they do show all the users. They show a faded, All Might. Mostly because he's still alive, so he hasn't passed, didn't die yet. Now, I do like the scene where he explains to All Might about it. And I do like the scene how, I do like the funny scene, and this is a little side thing, is how he saw All Might's teacher, Nana Shimura, and I found it so funny how when he talked to All Might, he was like, oh yeah, All Might, so about your teacher, she was kind of cute. And it was funny because All Might was like, yeah, she was. And then I was like, well, she was kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, Deku? Okay, Deku, you're admitting there was a girl that was cute. Why don't you freaking say that about your girlfriend Ochako? Just tell her. I'm sorry. But I like the fact that because now that changes the game. It's gonna get Deku so much more stronger. Right now, he's on the verge of trying to master his Black Whip quirk as well. Right now, and the Endeavor, internship did help out much better because by the time he's able to use the Black Whip ability for at least a few minutes or so, like he said, and then he has to and then he can't use it. But when he finally is able to use it, where he can just use it whenever he feels like it, he's gonna be so much more stronger. And that's the one thing I take away that, and that's the one last thing I take away is that Deku is going to get much stronger than he currently is. So what you saw when he went infinite 100%, just wait till he gets all those quirks on top of One For All 100%. He's going to be unstoppable. And that's why he says at the start of the series, this is my story on how I became the greatest hero. Now, to end off this video, because it's been long enough, my prediction, and I was talking about how now my prediction for the last series is going. Right now, there is a main story about Aizawa and his former friend who basically is within Kurogiri, or basically essentially is Kurogiri. And we get the revelation that Kurogiri is actually a Nomu, essentially. And, when they showed that scene where you could see a little bit of his friend, Aizawa's friend in there, and even, Present Mike, I forgot Mike, Present Mike or something like that, it was really interesting to see, and I was like, okay, this could change everything if they can get him back. Another thing, another prediction. I said it before, and I'll say it again. I think it's a done deal that maybe instead of I feel like in this League of Villains and, you know, the League of Villains and Liberation Army coalition, I feel like they're going to raid the prison. They're going to raid the prison, break One For All out, or either One For All is going to break himself out. My prediction is this: All Might, because of Ares' ability, when she finally masters her ability, I feel like Ares gonna also give as well as giving Mirio's powers back. She's going to rewind time back to make sure to the point where All Might, maybe to where All Might didn't have the injury, or to the point where All Might can use One For All again. That is my prediction. If she's able to rewind All Might to use One For All again, I think we are going to get, and if All For One, or actually my bad. If Ares can rewind All Might to have One For All again, and All For One gets out of prison, my prediction is this: All Might and All For One will have a second fight. This time, All Might will lose. And like Night Eye's prediction said, how he'll die. I think this time, All For One versus All Might will lose, but he'll die this time. And it'll be right in Deku's face. I think what I was going to go is Deku might team up with Bakugo to defeat Shigarashi. Or it'll be Deku just versus Shigarashi alone. All Might's fighting, while All Might comes out of retirement, he fights All For One. He loses this time, but before he loses and he potentially dies, my prediction is Deku will finish up with Shigarashi. Deku, because it was stated by Deku and hinted at Deku that, one day he wants to fight alongside All Might to basically stop All For One. And that he would be there, fight, and they would be there fighting together. The last time we only saw Deku and All Might fight together was My Hero Academia, the movie Two Heroes, which is canon to the timeline. So, the previous successor of One For All, and then current one with One For All with, his upgraded, powers. And the crazy thing is they will both be able to go, 100%. I think what will happen is when they both fight All For One, there'll be a part in the fight where it looks like Deku will die, and All For One's going to go in for the kill. My thing is, All Might will sacrifice his life for Deku to have, the passion, the belief in himself, that anime moment of rage where they get stronger to the point they beat the main villain. And I think All Might will sacrifice his life for Deku to give him that boost, and Deku will defeat All For One for good, which means he won't come back. He'll more than likely die, and he'll get rid of All For One for good. I can see right now it's either Shigarashi's gonna be the final villain or All For One. I'm putting my best right now. All For One will be the final villain of My Hero Academia. It will only be poetic justice because, like it's always said in the stories, all the previous users have fought All For One to try to stop him over the years. I feel like Deku, with how much stronger he's gonna get, he's gonna be the one user that defeats All For One for good. As well as Shigarashi in the League of Villains, and which becomes the reason why he is the greatest hero and segments his way to being the greatest hero. And then that would be the end of My Hero Academia. That would be my way. Now I don't know how Horikoshi is gonna do it, but that would be my way of how I'd probably end the series off. They have one big final fight because the League will be like, we're tired of this. Or All For One breaks out. He leads the League again. He leads Shigarashi, and basically they try to take over the world once and for all because they'll see in a moment there's no more All Might now. Nobody will be able to stop us. But due to Aerie being able to rewind people's quirks, or be able to rewind, she can bring back All Might, make him back at his prime where he's able to fight with his quirk again, and he'll be able to take the muscular form again, and stuff like that. So we're gonna see where it goes for the manga. I know the next manga chapter is coming out in a few days. So I will do a review on that manga. So expect manga chapter reviews from now on, as opposed to My Hero Academia. I will still be doing, anime episode reviews. Obviously, I have to keep my mouth shut for spoilers for the anime only people. But yeah, but other than that, that's really it. My thoughts on the manga. It was a fun read. Yes, I finished reading, and I can't wait to continue reading because this story is getting more juicier, and I can't wait to see where this story goes. Hopefully, my prediction comes true with the fact that the way I want the story to end, it happens. It would be like really good if it does. I'd be like one of the best prognosticators if that were to happen. But other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. It's Cam for 15. So if you like this video, leave a like. If there's a comment you want to put in the comment section, if you're a manga reader, what are your thoughts on how the manga's doing? I like where the direction's going, and I can't wait to get more. But other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. I had fun enough time on My Hero Academia. So other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm not gonna keep you guys waiting. Hopefully you guys have a great day, and hopefully if you're on the East Coast, hopefully you stay warm, especially if you live in Connecticut, because my goodness, it's freezing outside. It looks sunny, but trust me, it's windy, it's cold, and I don't want to go outside again. But other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.